Welcome to Red Cheating Stories. My name is Shada Abbasi. And today I'm going to let you know about the story of one of our user whose name is William. He says, my name is William. I'm 28 years old and this is my life's real story. I was in love with a girl named She Was So Beautiful. I washed her car in a week because I work at a car washing company. She was so kind to me that I think she loved me. And whenever she came, I asked her to sit down on a clean chair, and if you want anything to drink, I was so polite to her, trying to be charming. My appearance is good and I am a handsome man with blonde hair and blue eyes, but my life is not a very good place. I'm having money problems and the work I do for a living is very hard. One day I collect the courage to ask her for a coffee date. But when I ask her if you want to go out with me on a coffee date, she said, "Are you out of your mind? Just look at yourself. Why on earth I will go on a coffee date with you? Who are you? Just a little worker who washes my car and now wants to sleep with me." I said, I am not that kind of a boy. I love you and I want to be friends with you. She said, you don't even deserve my friendship. Just look at you. You are smelly and dirty. You are those awful rucks. And for your kind information, I have a boyfriend who is much better than you. He is rich. He owns a house and earns more than you can earn in your whole life. So don't even think about this. Come on, it's a joke to yourself. You're making fun of you. Not me. I was so heartbroken and so rejected. Maybe I don't have a nice car and I do not own a big mansion, but I love her and love is more precious than all of this. But she tore my heart into pieces. And I have left that job now. I have nothing to do for our life. I end up living on the streets and then I found a girl like me. Her name was Mona and she also doesn't have any house or shelter. She lived on the street just like me. But she was living there for like a year now and we were both in the same condition. We became friends and then the friendship has gone too far. In the night we made love for the first time under the moon. The street in which we are lying on the floor was so smelly. But our love fragrance is more beautiful than any fragrance on earth because we do not love each other for some house or car or money. We loved each other because we want to love each other. And this love is beautiful. This love is so pure and peaceful. This feeling is just out of this world. We were happy with each other. And when we got married also, we began to work in different places and collect some money too on a shelter for us, and things are getting better. But one day I saw with her boyfriend and I began to recall the memories of her. It was so hard to forget your first love and the agony in me is now destroying me with time. I cannot forget her. Although I was with Mona and she was a good girl. She was so beautiful, but I am a man with a broken heart. And people say that once your heart is broken, then nobody can make it better. I became a drug addict. And when Mona get to know about this, she was so angry with me. Life is not like movies and not some kind of show life. Reality, and reality is bitter. Days, months and years are passing. I am with Mona. We make love but I am unable to forget a lot. One night when we were together and having a good time, I want to say that Mona, I love you, and the words that came out of my mind for all I love you. And Mona was so sad about it. She said, you still love her, then who am I? I want to make up to her and I want to say sorry, I apologize hundreds of times. But she was so sad about it because I was her first love when my condition is getting worse every day. You know, every now and then we do not have any kind of money. I steal Mona's money from my drugs and we left with no money at all. I'm not able to do anything. I got fired from my job and it's because of Mona that we still have shelter on our heads. Otherwise we again end up on the street. I was not a bad man, but drugs made you feel bad that it make you bad. If you take a bad thing, how can it make you good? And drugs are surely a bad thing. One day a man came to me and he said that this girl is so beautiful. Can I have her? I said, "What are you thinking? Who am I? I'm not that. What do you think I am? She's my wife and I'm her husband." He said, "That's okay. I just want if you want money, I can give you money." And when I saw money, my mind got distracted and I took the money and he raped Mona. She was so angry and shocked. She was yelling about it. "How could you do this to me?" But that time, my God, with time, she got quiet and this became our business. I started selling my wife's party for money every other night. She was very sad but she didn't say a word about it. She used to stay quiet and her eyes are like she has no emotions left at all. But at that time, I didn't care about her. I didn't have time to see in those eyes. I don't think much. At that time, I was the meanest person on earth who is selling her fight for money and using that money for drugs. One day, Mona said, "I think I'm pregnant," and for 1 second, I was so happy when she said pregnant. She grabbed my shirt towards her and gave me a health stare and said, "What do you think the father is of this child? You collect clients for me every night, you take money from them and you sell me for money. And now when I'm telling you that I'm having a baby. So why this thing doesn't enter your filthy mind? That this is not your baby. And I don't know who's the father of this baby. Why on earth? You are so cruel. I'm the one who is mad at you. I ruined my life for you. And now I have to take something to kill this baby also because I don't know who the father is. And if I had a little girl, maybe use a tool for this business." I tried to console her but she left from there and took 2 weeks. She said that I am not pregnant anymore. I have taken some pills and now I'm okay. Now I'm telling you my story and I'm feeling the agony of my wife. But at that time, I didn't feel it. At that point, the situation is normal for me because when you make love, you have a baby, it's quite natural. But after a while my wife's condition, my wife's health that started becoming very bad and she got this pale face and blank eyes. And one thing I didn't think that time is that my wife is doing this for me. If she knows that I am the one who is selling her and taking advantage of her, then why doesn't she leave me? She can easily lift me. She can say that you are doing wrong with me. And I'm not a thing that you can sell every night. So I'm leaving you and that doesn't have to make love with different people. But she did not do that to me. I know that she was doing it with pain, but she was doing that one day. My wife committed suicide and left a suicide note for me. She had written in it that I love you. I think you are a great person who loves me for not my body who loves my soul. We were like each other. We do not have anything but just love. But then you did the most unfair things to me. And I was in so much pain during all that but didn't leave because I love you. But now this life becomes a burden for me and I'm leaving this world. I'm not mad at you. What you do is for yourself. And maybe you think it's right. I must say you're the most selfish man I have ever met. My pain and my agony are ended. Now I had to kill my child in my womb and I can't take this anymore. That's why I'm leaving this world and I will not forgive you. But if you love me for just 1 second for the life's sake, please don't do the drugs anymore. They are changing you. You are not the same person whom I love. You are not that William. The piece of paper is fallen from my hands and I was on my knees in front of my wife's dead body. I was crying like hell. She had left me and now I had left with nothing. I do not have anything. The people who live nearby as they gave me some money for the funeral. I was left alone. Days passed like this and my addiction began to dominate me because now I had no reason to live. I had nothing. I didn't even have my wife in my life and I missed Ellie and Mona. My condition was also getting worse day by day. I came back to the street and people started thinking of me as a pauper. Now people would throw me a few dollars and leave and I used to get drunk again with that money. One day, my condition was so bad. I had to be taken to the hospital. A man who was probably a good person, took me to the hospital. At the hospital, I saw a person whose wife was in danger and he was so worried about her. I guess the doctor had told him to get blood, which is kind of rare, and he was so stressed. I approached him and I said that you want negative blood. He said, yes, can you help me with this? I said, yes, my blood is all negative. I can help you. I didn't tell him that I'm a drug addict. You know, he just took my word for it. I donated the blood and I asked him to pay me. He said, okay, that's not a big deal. I will pay you, and he has paid a handsome amount. But I was such a bad person that I also spent this money on my drugs. And I immediately left the hospital because I was afraid that if they found out that I was a drug addict and still I had given blood, they might come after me. I didn't think about it, but the man was so worried that he didn't think about it at that time. Nobody is in my shoes, and it is very easy to tell anyone that top drugs are running their lives and you are doing very wrong with your life. This will cost you your health and you will die. But this drug is now what I had in my mind. You know, and I'm not able to think positively. The only thing I want is drugs, and for it, I can do anything. One day, I again go to the hospital and ask them if I have to sell one of my kidneys. They were shocked because people maybe come there to donate their kidneys. But I'm the one who wants to sell it. Well, they said if you want to sell them, we have no problem. They have to take some of my test. They asked that you are a drug addict, but your kidneys are still in a good form, but we were not able to give you a handsome amount. I said anything you give me, just give me some money. I'm really in need of money and they had to take my kidney. They kept me hospitalized for 3 days and then left there. On my own, on my way back to the streets. I was just thinking in my mind that I was the one who is selling his wife's body. And now I am selling my own body too. First I sell my blood and then I sell my kidney, and what next? My heart. But I have no heart. Mona used to tell me that you are a man without a heart. You don't deserve love. After selling my kidney, my health is not the way it was before. I was suffering from loss of pain in my abnormal area. I don't know what has happened to me, but I do not have money to get myself checked. And I'm still doing the drugs and waiting for my dad. I live on the streets. Sometimes I think that maybe someday and I will find out she will see me on the street and she turns towards me and asks me what happened. But you know, I never see her in the town. I think she had left the city. Like I said before. It's the reality. It's not fiction, it's not film. I will never meet her again, and maybe I will not see her again. You know, and I will never be happy in my life because she had a bunch of children and raised them with her husband and completely was happy with her life. And what had I done? I am completely lost. I have no motive and now I do not have health. I'm a man of 28 years old, but I look like I'm about 40. I had ruined everything for just love. One day I was sitting on the street and I came and said, "What is your story?" I told him my story. And at the end of the story, I just want to say what I had done to my life that is wrong. My heart is broken and broke Mona's heart. She was a nice girl, but I did so wrong with her. I will never forgive myself. And I'm just waiting for my dad to come and take me and Mona. Maybe in this way, I can say sorry to her because I didn't get a chance to say anything nice to her. But she was my wife and I was a bad husband. My whole life is based on regret that why